Hello, beauties. Erika here with another fabulous interview for you. So for this episode, I am interviewing Bianca Renee. Now, Bianca Renee talks a lot about how she was able to niche down, yet still not feel stifled with her content. We also talked a lot about working with brands and knowing your worth as a YouTube creator. And I thought that was a really interesting and important conversation. So enjoy the interview. And if you're new here, welcome. In this channel, I interview YouTube superstars and peel back the curtain to reveal what really goes on behind the scenes of a successful YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe because I have so many more interviews for you. And comment below, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you wanting to start a YouTube channel? Are you having problems growing your YouTube channel? What's your niche? I want to hear from you and learn a little bit more about you. Enjoy the interview. Mwah. Well, hello, Bianca Renee. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. So I'm excited to have you on. I know we've talked about bringing you on for a while, and I'm so glad that we were able to make this work. So why don't we first get started with you sharing just like a quick Cliff Notes version of your journey on YouTube so far?
My journey on YouTube was kind of an accident. I actually just found some curly hair products that I really loved, and they worked well for me, which is a really rare thing in the curly hair community to find things that work for our hair type. So I was just so excited that I wanted to share it online, and maybe if I helped a handful of people, it'd be worth it. So I just literally opened my front-facing camera on my laptop and no microphone, no lighting in my mom's kitchen. And I recorded a video about these products. And then that video started gaining some traction. And then once it started hitting like 100,000 views, I was like, oh, like you guys really care about this video.
So was the first video you uploaded?
Yeah, yeah.
The first video you uploaded ever eventually reached 100,000 views?
Well, I wanted to always be a host, like red carpet hosting. So I started putting like hosting interviews online, but it wasn't really for like a channel purpose. It was more just like a video streaming. If you want to see my hosting, they go there. Yeah. But no one's really watching that because, you know, whatever. But like my hair thing was really what took off. So that was my very first, more like personal video about me and things that I like. And that was my very first video that did really well. And because it did well, I was like, well, now that I talked about the products, let me make another video showing how to actually apply them, and then kind of went on from there. And now I've become like the curly hair go-to person for products and hair tips.
Yeah. So let's look at this like a visual. So here are some of your oldest videos, right? This is like a hosting situation, which you did a long time ago, but we're really looking at this one right here. So the best hair products for curly hair 6 years ago, that was your first video?
Yeah.
That has 670,000 views today. And
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then it looks like then the videos after that, you know, 122,000, 347,000. I'm sure at the time they didn't have this many views, but over time have grown. But still like, and then this one 5 years ago, 1.3 million views. You remember this video?
Yeah, funny enough, my guy, I think I have like 90% women following on my YouTube channel, but my guy videos do so well because I think it's just like a less saturated market where there aren't as many guy YouTubers. So when I do guys' hair, like those videos are all successful. So I need to figure out some more things I could do for the guys.
Yeah, because it looks like your highest viewed video from 4 years ago was a guy's video. How to use a curl twist sponge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that has 5.3 million views. And then this one right here, how to apply an S curl, that's got 1.8 million views. That's your fourth highest viewed video. So yeah, interesting, huh? Did you expect that?
Yeah, I did not.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I feel bad for neglecting the fellas, but like my whole audience is women.
Yeah.
But you know, the guy videos do well, but I guess the guys just don't subscribe because I'm not posting more guy content. So I got to be better at that.
I also feel like too, a lot of times guys aren't, I don't know. I mean, that's a generalization, but you know, they're just kind of searching things on YouTube, looking for things that maybe like, that work, and maybe less invested in, say, you know, a creator or something like that. But
coming back weekly,
especially like you said, like your content isn't really geared towards them. It's more geared towards women. Okay. So what were you doing like in your life at the time when you uploaded this video 6 years ago? Were you working in as a host, or were you kind of in that industry already?
When I first started YouTube, like I said, it was really an accident. I wasn't like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I want this to be my career. Like, it was just, let me just throw up a video. I had no actual career intentions behind it. But with at that time, I was doing a lot of marketing. So I did promo marketing for like Ford cars. I'd be like at the auto show, the ones like knowing all about the cars and everything, test drives. I've done promo or marketing for everything from beef jerky to energy drinks to, I don't know, just about everything. But with that, I actually was able to kind of combine the world of my marketing background with YouTube, because with YouTube, it pretty much is marketing. Like my main income is from sponsorships. So it's now my job to promote products, but now online instead of at like a show or at a convention. So I was able to kind of merge the two. I also was a wedding planner.
Oh,
so that's why I have a couple wedding videos on my channel, like some wedding tips. But then I kind of got to a point where the amount of money I could make from a year of planning a wedding with a bride is what I could make from doing my hair in my bathroom.
Yeah.
So
a lot easier.
You know what? I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Wedding planning
That's
stuff.
what I kind of switched. Yeah. Exactly.
And so at what point, so YouTube is your main job at this point, I'm assuming, right? YouTube, sponsorships, everything.
YouTube is full time.
Okay. And so at what point into your YouTube journey did you go full time with YouTube and not do the other things like the promo work or the wedding planning or anything like that?
I will say that I think I had like a very slow, gradual growth on YouTube. I wasn't one to just have like a viral video and then it was just like viral from then on. I had my first video. It did grow pretty fast for a very first video, but then I didn't post my second video until maybe like 6 months. And then I posted another one in like 3 months. So even like my first 2-3 years, I wasn't like fully committed because YouTube as a career wasn't as known at that time. So I was kind of just doing it for fun every now and then. But then once I really started committing to 2 videos a week, that's when I started noticing a higher engagement and more subscribers, and it started growing. And then also learning my worth. I was definitely undervaluing myself on how much I should charge for a video. And that's why I do think it's so important for YouTubers and creators to talk to each other and not really consider each other competition. But I'm always, down to help or give advice to my fellow influencers. And then it wasn't until someone told me like, oh, you're only charging that much. Well, I charge this much and I have less followers than you. And I was like, oh, really? So that kind of gave me some perspective. And then once I learned my worth and how much I could be making from this, I was like, okay, like this is what I want to do. I'm going to commit to doing this more often, not, doing these promo gigs anymore because it's obviously paying way more if I do commit to it. So I kind of just like maybe 2 years ago is when I committed to like full time, only doing YouTube. And I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, so let's look at the timeline there just so we can kind of see where we're at numbers wise. So let's see. If you guys are listening, you might want to head over to YouTube so you can kind of see the graphs and stuff. But so it looks like we're here today. Okay. 442,000 subscribers roughly. So you say about 2 years ago. So are you like around what time do you think 2 years ago? Like beginning of 2017, midsummer?
Probably like the beginning of 2017.
Okay. So like at around 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I think so.
Does that?
And then it took me a long time to get to 100,000. But then once I did hit 100,000, I think I was gaining like 100,000 a year.
Yeah. So here's January of 2017, 100,000. And January 2018, 166,000. And then January 2019, 300,000. So so you really, you started your channel like 6.5 years ago. I think you said February 2013 is that first video, and then kind of like every 6 months, every few months, and then kind of here and there, right? And then January of 2017, about 2.5 years ago, at about 100,000 subscribers is when you went full time. So at this point, I'm assuming you were making some income from YouTube, like the AdSense and some sponsorships.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, but what was that catalyst that you said I'm done? I'm only doing YouTube.
One of like the little triggers for me, because it was since I was doing promo things, it could be as big as a convention, but it also could be as small as me giving out samples in like a Ralph's, you know?
Yeah.
So then it got to a point where I started getting recognized. So I just felt like, okay, I don't really want to be Bianca Renee today online, and then I'm like giving
The
out
sample girl.
juice samples at Rouse.
Yeah.
I was like, this is kind of weird. So once I started getting recognized and started building a name for myself, like, you know what, like I want to, maintain that, status that I have built on YouTube. And I do think that I'm bigger than giving samples. No offense to anyone that is, make your money. I did it for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I was like, I know I have more talent than this, and it just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And I knew that I always had a voice and I wanted to use that. So I'd rather just commit to something that actually makes me happy.
Yeah. And was there any fear surrounding that idea of giving up like a steady paycheck for YouTube?
It wasn't as scary, only because even with promo, that I've actually never had an actual steady job per se. All my gigs have been like independent contractor, like promo gig. Exactly. So I was already used to like, I don't know when my next paycheck is coming kind of lifestyle. But it's always like me, I always knew I would find more promo work, but it wasn't like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So because I was already in that mindset of I have to work to find my next job, I think it made it an easier transition. But it was a little scary, especially because even to this day, we have to explain that YouTube is a full-time job to some people. Some people just still don't get what YouTube is.
Yeah.
But I was confident in myself, and I just knew that I had to commit in order to make the amount of money that I wanted to.
Yeah. And so you said that at that time you started uploading twice a week. Were you consistently uploading once a week before, or were you just kind of uploading whenever?
Before I was uploading whatever, then I did commit to once a week, and then I committed to twice a week. Okay. So that's where I am now. Okay.
And so when you committed to twice a week, you said you really saw some growth from that?
I definitely saw growth from posting twice a week, because I think we just live in like a very fast-paced need show. Like we're in a binge watching era. We don't even like to wait till next week to get a new TV show. We can just watch the whole season. So because of that, I had to adapt to that, and I try to give as much content as possible. Even balancing between Instagram and YouTube, like it's a lot. But I definitely recommend, obviously, the more you post, the better.
You think that the more often you post, it helps with growth and all that?
I do think, especially on Instagram, which I have to be better at, is posting a lot on Instagram, because that's how you stay in people's faces and the algorithm and all that. With YouTube, like I wouldn't, every day would be crazy. Like for those that do it, like respect to people that can do that every day. I think it also is good to kind of create that want. So it's like people are looking forward. I know people tell me they look forward to Sundays. So like I'm part of their Sunday routine because I post at the same time every Sunday. For example. So people know when I post, and I kind of made like a network of my channel, and I think people like doing that. Yeah,
that's great. And so at that point, well, you're posting twice a week. Have you always done that Sunday video?
I mean, I've missed some.
No, but I meant like that's been your day for the most part of one of your two uploads.
Yeah, I noticed that my best engagement is on Sundays. I didn't even know how to figure out when I was posting until I got with a manager or an MCN. And then they told me like, oh, this is the day you get the most views, so you probably should post on that day. So it's always been Sundays. But then I also started Foundation Fridays to also branch out from my curly hair audience. And that's more of like just the catchy name. It's actually not the best day for me to post. And it probably would be better if I did have more of a space between Friday and Sunday just for my own editing stress needs. But that's kind of, it just became a catchy thing. So I'm like on the weekend video posting.
Got it. Yeah, that's true, because Friday is close to Sunday. So it's, but so you do a foundation. You said Foundation Fridays?
Yes.
So you do a foundation video every single week?
Well, Friday's kind of like my other day. So it started off with Foundation Fridays, but then I got into skincare, or it could be fashion, or that's kind of like my random other day. But my most consistent Friday topic would be foundations.
So you talked a little bit about, and I really want to kind of dive into this if you want to, because I think this is a really important topic, and I think it's something that, especially as influencers, especially people that are just starting, or not even, like people that have been doing it, there's a lot of kind of haziness and confusion around it. But you said this thing earlier about like know your worth. So what happened in that instance? You were talking to another influencer, and if you don't mind saying numbers too, like, what you were charging at that time, what she was, like the difference between that. I would love to know a little bit more about that experience that you had.
So in the beginning, I think I had at least 50,000 subscribers, and 50,000, between 50,000 and 100,000. Like I was definitely up there. And I think I was charging like $500 for a video. And then I was talking to someone who had maybe like, I don't remember the exact numbers at the time, but significantly like smaller following. And she was like, well, I charge like, you should be getting, like, I get at least 1,000, you know, or at least I get 2,000. I'm just okay. Like, what am I doing? I didn't really have any basis to, I mean, we don't have like a union where this is the set amount of money that we make for YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think brands know that. And that's why I personally hate seeing even micro influencers being taken advantage of, because they just don't know. And then that's why I always volunteer, you know, ideas on rates to my close friends, because I don't like seeing them getting taken advantage of. And at the end of the day, it's going to affect all of us. So brands aren't going to want to pay more if they can get someone else that'll pay less, especially someone that has a smaller following, but maybe even a higher engagement. And they're charging, you know, they're saying, okay, I'll give you a YouTube video and an Instagram post and a story for $500. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's way too much. So once I started, then I ended up getting a manager later when I was like, hey, I'm not doing the money thing right. I hate talking about my own worth. I don't want to offend anybody. And then, you know, you get afraid to negotiate. You don't want to lose because it's a big brand. So I was happy that I got a manager. And that's, I think my first like high paying video, she's like, well, you're charging $500. I think we can get at least $3,000. And I was like, okay. Like,
yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And then she did some negotiation. Okay, I got it. I was like, what? Like 3,000? And this is, I probably had maybe 100,000 at that time. So to be able to get that much for a YouTube video, it was just so much higher. I was like, okay, like this needs to change. And that was probably another catalyst in me being able to just do it full time. So yeah, I think a really important thing is I don't really believe in competition within like the YouTube world, especially like for me, like other curly hair influencers. I don't know anybody that only uses one hair product, and I don't know anybody any brand that only uses one influencer. Like it's just not a thing. So there's no reason why we all can't succeed. And then you also see these influencer trips where they're bringing more than one girl to Hawaii or Jamaica. So would you rather go with your friends than some other influencer strangers? So I'm always down to like recommend my other influencer friends to brands that are looking like, oh, if you want a wavy girl, use this girl. If you want someone with a tighter texture, use this girl. And like I have no problem helping, so we all could win, because you know there's just so much space for multiple influencers to get the money that they deserve and to get these same brand deals.
I agree. I totally agree, because it's like you said, like these brands are going to work with multiple people. And so might as well be your friends, might as well be people that you trust and know, and it doesn't hurt. And so I'm a big believer in that too. It's like if one grows, like you all kind of support each other and grow together and help each other out. And I think that's like the best attitude to have. It's just like, it's karma. It's just like good. Just like being a good human. I completely agree. Good vibes. Yeah. And so, so do you to this day still work with a manager?
I do. I'm kind of in between managers. I just got a new manager that's also like commercial. So I'm hoping to get it more like commercial work as well as influencer. But like I literally just got with her. So we'll see how this goes. But if you are struggling like I was, and like you don't think you know your worth, I think it definitely helps. That way you could just be talent, and then they could be the bad guy that negotiates. For me, you know, in reality, you're the one telling them like, well, I want to do this, I don't want to do that. But that way it's not like, oh, Bianca is hard to work with, or she has these demands. It's like, well, her manager is extra, you know, and it really takes the pressure off of you. You can just be like, oh, just let me know when to push record and I'm ready to go. So in that sense, I think it's definitely worth it. There are times where I feel like a manager should be the one pushing to get you work. And in my past experience, I've had times where brands are writing me and I'm just forwarding the message and they're closing the deal, which is still helpful. But I think like a really beneficial manager is one that's bringing the jobs to you. Because then I feel like, okay, that you really earned your commission because you got me this, and not because I hit forward, you know? So I think that's something to keep in mind.
And I mean, I've talked to managers too, and like, I've brought that up to them, and what they always say is, well, our goal and job as a manager is like to get the talent much more than they can get themselves. So if it's like for that one deal, if they're going to be getting $1,000, you know, as a manager, we know how to kind of talk to them and negotiate with them so that they're going to get like 3 times the amount or 4 times the amount or whatever. And obviously they would have to because they have to cover their own fee for it to even be worth it for you.
Be worth it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I agree. I mean, a manager that can like bring you deals in addition to really negotiating for you is, I mean, that's a winner in my book. So
exactly. And then now, because I have gotten better and I start knowing my worth, and because I have been able to communicate with my friends, I can get a ballpark area of where I should be charging. So if I feel like I can do this deal on my own and I could throw out a high number and I can feel confident in it, or maybe I already had an establishing relationship with that brand, then sometimes I will still continue to negotiate my own things. But if it's like a licensing deal with like the strict contract and exclusivity, or it's a brand I've never worked with before, that's when I'll be like, okay, I want you to handle this one because it's a lot going on.
A little complicated. Yeah, and I wonder that for you, like being definitely a niche. I mean, it sounds like you're kind of branching out a little bit, but your niche is, what would you say your niche is?
My niche is definitely curly hair.
Curly hair. Yeah. And so, you know, I'm wondering if you've ever come up against this idea of like having like a brand want exclusive rights, but the reality is like you can't have an exclusive right to like one brand because what else are you going to talk about on your channel? You don't just want to be a commercial for one brand, because given that, like if you were more of a lifestyle channel where we're talking about so many different things, then that's fine. But the fact that so much of your channel is focused on curly hair, I'd imagine you'd have to try a bunch of different products. Has that issue ever come about for you?
It's actually going on right now as we speak.
Oh, okay.
But I have gotten an offer where they wanted me to be kind of almost like the face of something, but then that means I can't promote any other. They said hair brands for, I think it was like at least 6 months or something.
Yeah.
But I'm just like one of my, like I can't do that because I review my people. Yeah, my followers do know that I am someone who's trying to give you guys new recommendations on products every single week. So to go from every week to like, I'll get back to you next year with these new launches, like it's just not realistic. So I'm like, maybe I can limit it to, you know, brands, other competing, like directly competing brands or brands that are sold in the store. Like there has to be some leeway on that. So that has been an issue. But I think what I like to do when it comes to exclusivity is, the most common I get is like posting no other sponsored content 3 days before, 3 days after. Like I think that once you get longer than that, then you're going to have to start paying me for the brands that I'm not getting.
Yeah.
And I doubt brand wants to do that.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah. Any other advice that you would give somebody who is maybe was in your position a little while ago, who has a following, where there's 20,000 subscribers, 30,000, 50,000, but they just feel like, I'm not, and maybe they don't have a manager, but you know, they're like, I don't know what to charge. I don't know. Like what kind of advice would you give them?
My advice would definitely be to reach out to someone that has a similar following. So, you know, if you have 20,000 followers, don't reach out to, you know, Patrick Starr and then ask him for advice on following. So I reach out to someone in your similar, like subscriber bracket or engagement and just be like, hey, I want to know if you can give me some advice. I just got a brand deal. They're asking for this much. You know, do you think that this is fair? And then, you know, hopefully that they will write back or just be like, oh, that sounds like a good range. They might not want to share their numbers with you if you don't have any relationship with them. But I think it's very normal to reach out to someone with a similar following. Just be like, just looking for some advice. Do you think this is good or not? And knowing how the industry works, if I see something that's like ridiculous, I'll be the first to be like, don't you dare take that deal. Like you have to at least be getting this much because you're getting this because of these views and da-da-da-da. So I would say reach out to someone with a similar following count to you.
Yeah, that's a good advice. And whether or not that person gives you like super specifics, like you're opening the doors to a relationship, you know, because relationships with other creators and influencers are really important when you're on YouTube and doing this.
And there's also a website. You probably know what it's called. I'm blinking right now, where you can kind of get an estimate on how much you should charge.
Like
what's it called? It's like almost like a social Kelly Blue Book. Social.
Yeah, I was thinking like Kelly Blue Book, but I was like, but that's for cars. It's not Social Blade. That's something else.
No. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking.
Because I know, yeah, but I know what you're talking about, and I've heard it's not necessarily like the most accurate either.
Yeah, I don't think it's exactly accurate, but I think it's a good starting point,
benchmark.
especially if you have no idea. And then I usually just do more than whatever it says.
Well, the other thing you have to also consider too is the fact that like what they're asking of you. Like it's not necessarily always just about the number of followers and engagement you have. Like it is once you get, I think when you're a larger size, I think that is important. But I think when you're smaller, the other thing to put into consideration is the fact of the production value and the time spent. So if you're going to be kind of like what you said, if you're going to say, well, I'm going to do an Instagram post and some stories and a video and this and that, it's like, well, how much time is that really going to be taking you? Even if it's like 5 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours, like then, I mean, if you're only going to be getting paid like $300, like when you really look at it, it's like, is it really worth your time? And then is it worth your time to do that? And then also like have a sponsored video that maybe your audience will relate to or not relate to, or, you know, there's that little bit of that risk there. So it's like, I think what people have to really consider is like their time.
Yeah. And that's what I think some brands don't even get. They try to make your Instagram video price way cheaper than your YouTube video price. But at the end of the day, I'm taking the same shower, using the same shampoo and conditioner. I'm just speeding it up. I'm editing, you know, in a shorter form. But it's still like the same amount of time and work to actually produce the content you want. So
and sometimes with those Instagram videos, sometimes it's even a little bit more time when it comes to the editing because you're having to really, really truncate it and make it short. But like you said, it's, you know, it's still work. And are you doing all your own editing still?
I've always done my own editing. Yeah. I actually went to Cal State Northridge and I majored in multimedia production. So I got a little bit of editing there, but I honestly learned more editing from my husband than I did even in college.
Oh, okay.
So he totally helped me like learn Final Cut and like the shortcuts and everything to make me faster. But yeah, I've always edited all my own videos and I usually edit late at night. I'm a procrastinator. Don't be like me if anyone's watching. But I could be up till like 3 a.m. editing a video just to get it out on time.
So we know what you're doing on Saturday nights.
Yeah. And I think that's why I picked the worst day. I don't know why like Thursday night became like the party hangout night. And then I have my Friday uploads and Saturday night for Sunday. I was like, why did I pick these nights?
Yeah. That's your Saturday. But especially if you're a procrastinator, you know. So, so did you... It sounded like from the get-go you knew you wanted to focus on this niche of curly hair, or is that something that progressed with your channel?
Because of the success of my first video, that's what I knew I wanted to do. But what really kept me motivated, just besides the views, is the comments. And people saying like, wow, this really helped my hair. And then I showed how to apply it. Oh, wow, I didn't know to apply it like that on like wet hair versus dry hair. And then there was just kind of things that eventually became common knowledge to me, but it was not common, and that's why so many people struggle with curly hair. So then I got to a point where I really wanted to focus on the education of curly hair because people were straightening it and then damaging it, and now even their pressed straight hair doesn't even look good straight. It's just fried. And the thing about curly hair is it doesn't always come back. It gets very offensive, and it's like, you didn't want me, I'm not coming back. Now we have girls that have like this new growth of curls, and then they have their long straight and then they don't want to cut it because longer hair is more beautiful. It's another stigma I try to fight on my channel. So they rather have long, ugly hair than short, curly hair. So I'm like, all right, this needs to change. So I started really researching myself and really educated myself on everything natural hair, from the ingredients and products to what helps your hair, what doesn't, deep conditioning once a week, doing a big chop, which is when you cut off all that dead hair and just kind of start fresh. And it's like a really emotional thing that a lot of natural hair girls have to go through because they have to start over because their whole life they've either been bullied in school or worse, their own parents would say like, you need to fix your hair, which means straighten it. Or they wouldn't ask them. They've always been straightening as a kid. So there's like a lot of emotion, like, you know, as a woman, we always have like an emotional tie to our hair, and they say a woman who cuts her hair, it's about to like change her life or everything that goes. But for curly hair, like it's almost like, there's a common question where people say, when did you go natural? And that pretty much means that everyone knows that there was a time that you didn't rock your curly hair. And I personally hate that question because that pretty much means, at what point did you start liking your hair? Because I know you hated it.
I assume there's an assumption that you automatically didn't like it.
Yeah, and it's a super common question in the natural hair community. And I hate that the assumption is you had to have hated it at one point. When did you start loving it? So I'm hoping with my channel and like with the new generation of girls growing up, that like we could eliminate that question and just assume that this person has always loved their curly hair. And it starts at a young age. So like I love when moms will send me videos of their kids wearing their curly hair to school. Like that's what keeps me motivated. So because of like I saw how much I was able to impact people and help them, and I get messages from across the world. So I'm like, oh, I've had people watching in Africa and India and like just all over the place. So I'm like, I have to keep doing this because I'm helping people, and that's why like I have such a passion for curls over anything else.
Yeah, so it sounds like you went a little bit deeper, you know, on your channel. You kind of had this realization about it's not just about just the hair itself, but everything behind it, the emotional, you know, feeling behind it, all that. At what point did you really start addressing these topics and talking about them on your channel?
I think because people would ask me more questions, it forced me to do more research. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is really valuable. I didn't even know this. I need to share this. So something like not using products that don't have sulfates and silicones, like ingredients, understanding that like the porosity of your hair, the density, your curl type, all these things could affect how you do your hair. So what works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, but I'm going to tell you why it works for my hair and why it won't work for your hair or your curl type or whatever it may be. So my subscribers are what keep me going, because they keep asking me questions, making me become more knowledgeable. And that's just more important than reviewing products. And that's also why I don't accept every sponsorship that I get, because if the ingredients aren't good or it's not going to help anyone's hair, there's no value in me reviewing it besides monetary thing. But that's why people trust me. And because I do go deeper and they understand that I'm actually here to help, I think that's what, you know, would make my channel stand aside from other channels, because I've built like a real relationship with my subscribers.
And you have a stance. Like it's just you have an opinion and a stance and a belief. And I think that's, you know, for something like hair, people think like, oh yeah, you know, hair, beauty, whatever, it's just fun and all that. But it's like I do believe, you know, after all this time that I've had kind of in the YouTube world and all that, that it's really the people that have a mission behind what they're doing. They have an opinion. They have a very strong belief behind it, that ultimately that's going to come through some way, shape, or form. And the people that connect with that are just going to be like followers. Are going to be like diehard supporters. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So for you, then you've been doing videos twice a week, right? And it mainly just curly hair videos, right?
Yeah.
So how do you continue to come up with fresh ideas on a very kind of niche specific topic after years and years and years of doing content? I mean, how many videos have you done? Like,
I mean, I ask myself that same question. There are times where I'm like, how much can I really talk about hair products? Like, shampoo is only going to do so many different things. But because the curly hair community is growing and there's more people that are now accepting their curls, brands are trying to know that. So now, before, when there was only like a sliver of the curly hair section at the store, like we're starting to expand, and we almost have like a whole aisle of curly hair products now. So there's a lot more product releases, which helps, which, you know, makes it easy just to review products, especially ones that work. But I really just go off of people's comments. So if I see like a lot of people are asking the same question, like I think a most recent video that I posted, I think is going to be very helpful, is how to choose which styler to use. So it's not even about the brand of the styler. You shouldn't be using a gel for moisture. You shouldn't be using a leave-in conditioner to fight frizz. That's just for moisture. And like, there's certain things that are written right on the bottle, but people don't read the bottle. So I'm like, hey, you need to pay attention to, you can't get mad at the product for not doing what you want to do if it's not made for that.
Yeah.
So it's making videos like that. Okay, everyone's struggling with gel and their hair is dry. Well, it's because gel doesn't have moisture, you know? So I just kind of figure out what everyone's complaining about, and then I'll make a video from that. And it seems like I'd run out of things, but people always have questions, and this makes it easier for me to think of things to answer.
Yeah, because it would seem like over time you would run out. Like you'd be like, okay, you know, here are my favorite products, here's my routine, here's what I recommend, your do's and your don'ts. But I mean, we can look at your channel too and just kind of see even like your more recent videos. I think these are your most, let me see. These are your most popular, but these are more These are your most recent, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you have this new one, the Pattern Beauty, which is a new line. And then How to Cure a Dry, Itchy, Flaky Scalp. You do some
baby ones.
yeah, you do some baby ones because you're pregnant, right?
Yes.
Congratulations. How far along are you?
Thank you. Almost 6 months.
Oh my gosh. You got 3 months to go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's amazing. So, yeah, you know, Shea Moisture versus Maui Moisture, conditioner battle. And, you know, people are watching 62,000, 54,000 views, 170,000 views. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of videos on curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so, I think there's nothing else to say.
Yeah, because you would think, and I think sometimes people think like, oh, you know, like, that's like the biggest question I know that I get and that gets asked a lot is like when you have a niche, do you feel like you are limited in some ways?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I have been creating more curly hair content for people. One, as you can see, like if I post a curly hair video, it can get 50,000. If I post a makeup video, it'll get like 6,000.
Yeah.
So then like when you try to branch out,
or like the celery juicing one, right? That one got
exactly.
only 7,000 celery juicing. And you would think, okay, well, celery juice is like a huge trend, blah, blah, blah. But if that's not your audience, you know, or like your swimsuit haul, you know, 19,000. And then the next one, you know, how to prep natural hair, 65,000 views.
My subscribers know what they like. So sometimes it is hard to get out of it because as much as I love helping people with curly hair, like I said, like I know I'm also more than curly hair and I like to talk about other things. So I want to make new content and sometimes your audience makes you feel like you can't. And it does get discouraging when you see like a smaller amount of views for, you know, something else that you changed. But at the same time, like there was a time where I kind of stopped from my Foundation Fridays, but then I got all these messages like, hey, I really need your Foundation Fridays. I have very oily skin. They were really helpful when you bring them back. So even though it's only like if a handful of people write me that, I still get like this desire and need to like help those people because the main thing I like to do is help people. So even if it's, you know, I don't want to get too big in my head. Like, well, I only want to help 100,000 people and I don't want to help just 5,000. You know, like that's still 5,000 people that you're helping. So I kind of just had to like, you know, calm myself down and not make it about the numbers, but really make it about the reason why I even made these videos because I have skincare videos. I had really severe acne. And because of that, I had to be very vulnerable and put my bare face online. And that alone like helped a lot of people. So like my skincare videos do really good. And then I have really oily skin. So finding foundation for darker skin tones is an issue. So I know I'm not the only one struggling with these things. So if I could reach someone else that is going through it, then that's what makes it worth it. That's what I have to remind myself to not get too into the numbers, but remember the people that represent those numbers.
Do you try and do like at least one curly haired video a week? Like, do you have some kind of formula in your head? Like, if I'm going to do curly hair, you know, I got to do, you know, only, you know, I detract from that maybe twice a month. Or do you have something like that where you kind of follow?
Right now, I try to give a curly hair video every week. And that's what, like, my Sundays are usually hair related.
Okay.
But then Fridays where I branch out to either skincare, fashion, or makeup. I really don't try to go more than 2 weeks because then people get angry.
More than 2 weeks, what?
Waiting more than 2 weeks to have another curly hair video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so, like, let's talk about some of your highest viewed videos, which is, it's interesting because your highest viewed we talked about it's for a man basically, and that's 5.3 million views. So when this happened 4 years ago, did you get a lot of subscribers from this? Because you kind of said earlier, well, the men don't really subscribe. Did you, even though you got 5 million views, did you see a jump on your channel from that?
I actually don't think I saw a jump because, like I said, most of those millions are guys and the guys aren't subscribing. So, yeah, you would think that because these like viral videos that they would jump, but I don't think that's what did it because it was still the women. And as you can see, like my highest videos are men's hair and skincare. Not even the main thing that I do.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about that. Like for this one, a year ago, which is, you kind of touched upon it, your acne or whatever.
Try my new airbrush flawless foundation.
We'll get through this ad, but you know, you kind of show your bare face there and all that, and this was about an aloe vera challenge. What inspires you to do this video, and did you expect it to do as well as it did, which is nearly 4 million subscribers?
This video was kind of funny. This video was kind of funny because I thought it would do good because almost all aloe vera videos that I saw on YouTube did really well. I noticed that people love DIY videos. So even like my other popular one is a turmeric mask, which is also one that I made like a DIY. So I wanted to give it a try. And the main thing people want to see is real results, because we are so saturated in a hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, world. People's trust is like, she's only saying it because it's an ad or whatever. So I think when you do something DIY, it automatically takes down that like, okay, this is real because she made it herself and no one's paid. Like, I'm not getting paid by the aloe vera plant. Yeah. No one's benefiting this from me. So I think DIY videos already bring a more trustworthy video. And because people want to see real results, that's what I show here. So I think I did it for a week or so. And I'm coming back every day showing you real results. So it's not just like, I used aloe vera and you need to believe me because my skin is clear. It's like, no, I'm showing you how bad my skin was at first. And then I'm showing you me applying it every single day. And now this is how it looks. There's no like hidden agenda. It's like, this is what it is. And then people are like, okay, real results, whether it worked or not, I appreciate this video. So always just trying to be as authentic as possible is what's going to make people want to watch the video. I think that's why DIYs and like 1 week challenges, 1 month challenges, I did this for a month, this happened, videos do so well.
Yeah. Did you get, although this was off niche for you, did you get a lot of subscribers from this video?
I think I probably got a lot of subscribers from this one, yeah. And even this had a slow growth. So I was expecting for it to do really well, really fast.
Okay.
And it was kind of getting average views. And then all of a sudden, it like shot up. And then it just kept going up from there. And then next thing I knew, I checked, it was at 1 million. I was like, when did this happen?
How long after you uploaded that the video started to do well?
I think I was expecting an initial, like, really good or really high count. I want to say maybe like 6 months later.
Oh,
like a couple months later,
that
it
long?
shot up. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
So, like, how many views was it at before it shot up? Was it just like at your normal, I don't know, like 15, 20,000 views or whatever?
Yeah, or maybe even less.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just randomly, and you don't know why? You don't know if like it got mentioned somewhere or like it got recommended somewhere? Or?
For the aloe vera video, I don't recall it being mentioned anywhere. For my turmeric video, there was a time where Tia Mori posted it on her Facebook, and that was really cool.
She posted your video?
Yeah.
Your turmeric video?
Yes, yeah, this one.
Why did she do that? She just found it and liked it?
She was just like on her own personal Facebook. She was just like saying, "Oh, I tried this mask and I watched this video and it was helpful." She was just sharing it, just like we do when we just like something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so for this turmeric video, which is one of your highest viewed videos at 2 million views, was this growth because of Tia, or was it already kind of growing and she happened to share it and that was a little boost?
Yeah. For this video, I think it was already growing, but I think I did get a little boost from her.
And did you get a lot of subscribers from this one as well?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So then you probably have a group of people then, I'd imagine, from these two videos that like have subscribed that really like your skincare.
Skincare, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so
they're getting a skincare video update this Sunday. So
okay.
Trying to branch out and appease more people.
Yeah, because that's so interesting. And I think that's the thing too. It's like, a lot of people that have a niche are like, I have to have my niche and like I can't stray from it. But I always tell people, my students in my courses and stuff, like the 70-30 rule, which is 70% should be your own niche, but like 30%, like do whatever you want, experiment, because you never know what can hit. You just don't know.
Exactly. And anytime you think a video is going to go viral, that's the one that'll sit at like 5K. And then the ones that you did last minute, no makeup in your kitchen, that's the one that blows up. Like I was like, I look put together in all my videos, and then
except for that
one video that I have no makeup on and my hair's in a bun.
Yeah. That's the one that everyone in the world is seeing.
Exactly.
Have you done any videos that you thought like, oh my God, this is like, I put so much work into this, and like, this is it. This is going to go viral. And it just was a flop?
I definitely have. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are times where like I'm putting all this work into it. I'm like, okay, this is going to be great, and it doesn't go anywhere. And like I said, it's always the ones that we just do on a whim, and that's probably because you're not overthinking it. You're just being yourself, just natural, and then people pick that up, and then that's the one that goes viral. So
So one of the things I noticed, in watching your videos is that you definitely have like a really good camera presence, screen presence. Is that something that you had, from the beginning, or, has that been developed over time?
I think I've always had that because I've always liked to be in front of the camera. And if I'm not hosting online, then even if I'm just hosting like a party at my house or whatever, I'm always like the one with the voice getting people together. So I've always had that. And then I also took that to the next level by taking hosting classes. And that kind of got me like teleprompter practice and how to piggyback in a conversation and things like that. So I think that helped with learning how to really connect to my audience. And I'm not just talking to a camera, but like really act like I'm talking to someone who's going to respond on the other end. So asking questions, which creates engagement from comments, and just really get into the mindset of like, I'm talking to this curly haired person who has this problem, and not just like, I'm teacher Bianca and I know everything. Let me just talk to like the board. So I think I've always had that. Exactly. So I've always had that on camera personality, but I added the new experience of talking to like an actual person that's going to respond in the comments.
Yeah. You and I probably took some of the same hosting classes here in LA, because I did entertainment hosting, red carpet reporting. I did a lot of that stuff and took a bunch of the hosting classes that everybody takes here in LA. So, and they help. I mean, it helps, it's kind of teaches you all that stuff. So do you do anything to prep for your videos?
I really just, sometimes I kind of hype myself up. I'll just listen to some music that I like, just to kind of, get into the swing of things, especially if it is hard to always be ready on camera when you could just be having a bad day. People think influencers are always just perfect and we're just happy all the time. But sometimes we're like, I really don't want to do my makeup today, but I got to make this video for tomorrow. Yeah. So sometimes it's like a mental thing of psyching yourself out, like, hey, work time, like, let's do this. But I don't really have like a set structure. If it's something that's that's more like scientific with the hair world, or I might need to do some more background research on why this ingredient does this, or what alcohols are bad for your hair versus silicones. Like sometimes it creates more of a background check with my topic. But if not, then I kind of just push record and wing it. and do it. Love it.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're entered in the last part of the interview, and that is the Power Hour segment. And these are the questions that I ask everybody that's come on the show, and you kind of respond with like your first answer, that first thing that comes ahead. What would you say are the defining moments of your YouTube career so far?
The defining moments of my YouTube career would be the moments where people write me and they assure me that my videos are helping them. And if it wasn't for those types of comments and pictures of their before and afters, like I could see myself getting, tired of talking about the same thing. But as soon as someone writes me like, this is how my hair was before, this is how it is after, and it's because of your videos, I'm like, okay, I helped her and it made a huge difference. Let's get more people. And then it just motivates me to keep doing it.
Yeah. Those are the best. What is the hardest part for you about being a YouTube influencer?
The hardest part for me about being a YouTube influencer is realizing that I can't please everyone, and to remind myself that I can be human, because there is so much perfection online that I think I have to hold up to that status of taking the perfect picture and, recording every moment of my life. So there's always something in my story. And then sometimes it does get like overwhelming, and I could have 1,000 comments about how much someone loves this video, and then you get one comment that's like, this is the stupidest video ever, and then we just think about that one comment. It's like, why are we worrying about this one person when 1,000 other people are happy for it? So it's just kind of like, okay, like I also had comments of people like, this video is so funny, this is why I'm subscribing, and then I go like, what was this video? I'm unsubscribing. So it's like something that could really make someone come could be the same thing that makes someone leave. So you're like, what do I do?
Yeah, you can't please everyone.
Yeah, so just getting in the mindset like you did it because you liked it. Someone else gets you. So that means they're going to get the rest of your content. So focus on that person, not the one person that left because whatever you said.
Yeah, totally. If you were to get started today on your channel, what would you have done differently?
If I was starting my channel today, what I would do differently is be more consistent up front. When I first started, like I mentioned, I did one video, then I didn't make my other one until like 6 months later, then it was like 3 months later, and I really stretched out those 2 years. And I could have really capitalized on being one of the first like natural hair influencers back at that time. So if I was going to start it today, I would even still be more consistent and really focus on what's going to make my channel different than others, because now there's more competition. Like there is more natural hair influencers, which is great because that means more help for more people. But if everyone's talking about the shampoo, why am I going to watch your video over someone else's? So really just figuring out what's going to make your channel different and more unique.
What do you think makes your channel different and unique?
I think what makes my channel more unique is the fact that I don't just review any and every product that comes to me, and people know that I have standards, so that they like that I stick to those standards. And I never just talk about a product. I always demonstrate it. So as much as I don't like showering with the door open with a camera and a ring light, I'm going to do it because I know people want to see the real results. You see it apply in my hair. You see how it looks after. So you always get like those real results.
Is that how you do it? Oh, sorry. Is that how you do it? You have the shower door open and there's like a ring light and the camera is like in the ring light. Is that
so like, exactly. When I'm filming the shower, the door's open, I'm freezing, water is getting all over the floor. Ring light, camera, and making sure I'm not flashing anybody. It's a lot. It's very stressful.
Is it? Like, how long does it take you to do one of those shower scenes in a way?
So once I put, I set up my camera, and then you got to like squeeze in without knocking over your setup. And then, I am taking a normal shower, and then you got to make sure that you're not steaming up the room or fogging up the camera. Yeah. So, I mean, because I only wash my hair for curly hair, you only wash your hair once a week.
Okay.
So it's almost like, and because I'm posting curly hair once a week, it's like I have to film almost every shower that I do, like every hair shower that I do.
Yeah.
So that's just like, I just want to just wash my hair and just get out.
Relax. So you, like all your videos that you're talking about products, you have to start from washing your hair?
Usually I like to review an entire line so people can see how the shampoo, conditioner, and the styler work together. I would, if it only is a styler release, then it makes it a lot easier. I could just show outside the shower. But usually I receive an entire line, which would include shampoo and conditioner. And I just don't think it's really realistic for me to shampoo my hair at my desk in my clothes, because that's not what people do.
No.
So I just wanted to be actually relatable. Like, this is what you do in the shower, because this is what you do in the shower.
Yeah. So you show the whole thing.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of when it comes to your YouTube channel?
What I'm most proud of, I think kind of goes back to even my motivation, is seeing real results. It's just a constant motivation, and I get really proud when I notice that I've reached people in other states and other countries. When I go live on Instagram, people always say like, "Oh, watching from Saudi Arabia." I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me most proud, is like, I had no intention of being a YouTuber in the beginning. It was just genuinely, I found something and I need to tell someone else with curly hair. And it's because of that genuine passion of helping someone in the beginning. I love that has grown to helping people like across the world. Yeah,
that's awesome. If you could change one thing about YouTube, what would it be?
Ooh, definitely get rid of that dislike button. You don't need that on.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
just exit out if you don't like the video.
I know.
I also, people get like, there's internet gangsters that people get more confident and they say what they want to say in the comments. So I wish if there was a way that we could like, I don't know, there's like an approval system. If we can get our trolls, it'd be really great as well.
I know. Yeah.
It's just the people that don't have a profile picture that want to tell you about how to do your hair. It's like, I don't even know what yours looks like.
I know. The anonymous bullies.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest mistake you've made with your YouTube channel?
The biggest mistake I've made with my YouTube channel would probably be not branching out sooner. I think because I did so much curly hair, like I definitely have become almost like the expert in it, which is great. But I think if I would have mixed it up sooner, it would have been easier to transition to multiple different topics, because now it's like I'm heavy into the curl world that it's almost harder to get out. So probably branching out into new things so people can see that how versatile I am in the beginning, and I could have just grown with a mixture of things from the beginning.
What is the best decision you've made about your YouTube channel?
The best decision I've made about my YouTube channel is sticking to my guns when it comes to only reviewing things that I like. There's been times where products are endorsed by a celebrity, so I see this celebrity name in my email and then I get all excited. Then they send me the product and it has everything that I don't like about the product. So I'm like, I could be besties with the celebrity. I can get on their good side. I can get paid, or if it's not that, it's like I've been offered very high amounts of money for a video. So for example, one time I was offered over $10,000 for one video. Yeah. And I was so excited about it. And then they told me what I had to do. And I was just like, this is one of those integrity moments. It's like morals. Like, do I give up my morals for this really nice check, or do I stick with it? And at the end of the day, yeah, I can get paid off for one video, but I could really upset my subscribers. And if I mess up their hair in any way because of it, it messes up all of my integrity that I've been working on for my channel. And it's just not worth it. Because now if I tell you that this product's great and it's not, and then you buy it and then you don't like it, why are you going to keep coming back to my channel when now the things I recommend aren't good? And my whole channel is based off of the trust. So fortunately, I was able to save that deal by standing my ground and being like, I would love to review these products, but I only could review the shampoo and the styler because they don't have these ingredients, but that one does. So I can't review that one. And I was able to negotiate and save the deal to still work with them, but also stick to my own morals. So
yeah, that's so important. yeah. What is
hard.
Yeah, it is hard because it's I'm sure it's very appealing. You're like, oh yeah, it's a great paycheck and blah blah blah, but it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it because so much of success as a YouTube influencer has to do with your integrity, your connection with your audience, you being authentic. And the second people sense that you're not, it's you lose all credibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What is the best opportunity you've received as a result of your YouTube channel?
The best opportunity I've received from YouTube is doing a campaign with Ulta. So before my whole YouTube career, even wedding planning, I've always wanted to be a model. And I've spent so much time auditioning and headshots and agents and being too tall or not being skinny enough or not being tall enough. And this is always something. So I got to a point where I was tired of proving myself at auditions because I knew I had talent and I knew what I wanted to do. So it was kind of crazy how I ended up booking a campaign deal with Ulta where I did a commercial with them for their website and an in-store ads. So it's I got a model, after all these years of trying to be a model and trying to prove myself, I was getting all this rejection. And then once I just believed in myself and put out my own content on YouTube, now Ulta is reaching out to me. I'm not auditioning. It's a direct book because I've already built up a name for myself. And they were doing a campaign based off of, real people that genuinely like hair products or whatever it was. And I just couldn't believe them. All this time I was trying to prove to them to get these jobs. And now Ulta's emailing me directly. And I have a huge poster in Ulta stores. So that was that is definitely one of the highlights of my YouTube career.
Yeah, how cool is that? And was it a campaign? You said it was using real people, but was it for curly haired products, or were they just picking a group of people that,
So for that campaign, they decided that they didn't really want to use models anymore because it doesn't really mean anything. Because if you're a pretty face and you're holding this product, okay, cool, it's a pretty photo. Versus if I'm holding a product, that means something because I watch Bianca and she only uses these products. So it just adds more value, which I'm really glad that brands, even larger brands for campaigns, are realizing that there's more value in an influencer than a model now. And they also wanted to showcase that they have a salon in the store. So I got my hair done in the Ulta store at the Ulta salon. And then I had to do a video for my YouTube channel that would also be posted on the Ulta website and in-store ads and mailers. So it was a very huge campaign. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
How long ago did that happen?
That was last year.
Last year. Yeah. Did you obviously, like, I'm assuming you got paid and stuff for that, but did you see any growth to your channel from that kind of exposure?
It's hard to say. Like, you're making me realize that I need to start checking my growth after monumental things to my growth. I was like, I don't know.
You're like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So it hasn't been something where I was like, wow, after I did this, it was big. But I think it kind of gained the respect because like Ulta is a huge name.
Huge.
And it kind of because I had that under my belt, it also was able to kind of like my price went up, after that.
That's
so
true.
I think it just kind of gained credibility that I'm getting the recognition from these larger brands.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations. That's a huge
Thank you.
accomplishment. And I know that feeling because I here in LA, I've done the auditions, I've had the agents, the headshots. And I can imagine just that kind of feeling of having such a huge brand like Ulta, like wanting to work with you. Like they're not auditioning you. They're like, we want Bianca Renee.
Yeah.
You're like, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
amazing. That's amazing. Last question. What is your YouTube superpower? Meaning, what is it about you that comes naturally to you that you think that has contributed to your success on YouTube?
My YouTube superpower would be being able to mix, I think, comedy and education. Because if I make a video and when it is almost too rehearsed, I could see like I just sound like a teacher, and then it's just like, okay, I'm learning what to do. But when I make it more fun and relatable, and I can make people laugh, like now they're enjoying the process of learning how to do their hair. So I think I've been able to find a mixture between like being relatable, being funny, and also teaching you how to do your hair at the same time. That's why all my intros I say, hey, curl friends, because I really want my subscribers, like they do feel like they're my friends. And that's how I talk to them. So I think my superpower is creating a huge friend group via our curls across the world.
Yeah, and it's so important on YouTube because YouTube is definitely a resource for information. People want to learn things, but they're coming on YouTube to not just like learn, because otherwise they could just like read a blog or whatever. Like they're coming on YouTube because they want to they want an escape, but they want to be entertained while learning something. And it's so true. Like the creators that are able to understand that, especially the ones that have channels that are more information driven, they're the ones that really see a lot of success because people are almost like expecting now to be, they want to see a personality. They want to see charisma. They want to see something that is going to engage them. And then they're learning something at the same time. So I think that's great. So thank you so much for being on the show. This has been lovely. I love like how open you are about talking about working with brands and prices and things like that. I know people really enjoy and appreciate it when someone does that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So for people listening or watching, if you're here on YouTube, where can they find you?
If you want to subscribe, my YouTube channel is Bianca Renee Today, and I post 2 videos every week on Friday and Sunday. My Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat are at Ms. Bianca Renee, MZ Bianca Renee, and I'm always posting in my stories, so come check me out. Let's be friends.
Awesome. And definitely leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about this conversation. Is there anything that Bianca Renee said that just really resonated with you or that you learned from? Let us know in the comments and we'll check them out. All right. Thank you so much, Bianca Renee. It was amazing having you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.